Good morning, everyone. Here we are. It is, of course, the Fruit Nut News on, of course, the 25th, ladies and gentlemen, the 25th today, 2026. Yeah, very interesting. So, not a bad day up in the northeast of England. We got a little bit of, we had quite a lot of rain last night, quite heavy from yesterday afternoonish. Temperatures dropped a bit, but apart from that, it's all right. I don't worry too much, just crack on. Do you know what I mean? Weather don't bother me. Like I said before, a lot of people have, a lot of people got the Friday feeling. I don't bother. A lot of people got the Monday blues. I don't bother. Waste of time. Just live in the present. We like to be present in the present. So good morning, everyone. We're all okay. Christine Chambers is first in today as well. Sheila Douglas, Joyce Guest is in. Vinny's in. Sue Allen's in. Chris Taylor's in. Nina's in. Natalie Bowen's in. Gradas is in. Angie Davis is in, Valerie Mooney, Diane Williamson, Looney Lena, Ava's in, and Christine Owen. So, good morning, everyone. Hope we're all okay. Not really a lot today, to be honest. A lot of talk going on. But we're kind of, we're kind of the middle of the week. So, the pattern, it sort of calms down and then whooshes up the weekend. So, we'll wait and see. Now, of course, we've had all the Jewish rhetoric over the Iranian ambulance attack, apparently, and passports have been seen there, driving licenses. There was even an Iranian pound coin that was found, apparently. But anyway. There's this new terror group have all of a sudden popped up, an Iranian terror group, never been heard of before. Reminds me, of course, of ISIS, the Taliban, Al Qaeda. Can you remember all them back in the day? And of course, if you notice what's happening, the same stories are being repeated. The playbook is being repeated. Not only is the playbook speeding up, I'm going to talk about this in a minute. Not only is the playbook speeding up, but the same stories are starting to come out. So here we have Jewish ambulances blown up. None of it makes any sense. Like I said to you, you get an oxygen tank blow up, mate. You've got some serious fucking damage. That never happened. Then, of course, apparently they found an Iranian passport. Well, there you go. And, of course, the whole of the media ramped up on the Jewish rhetoric, anti-Semitism, Israel, all this kind. What a crock of shite. So this new Iranian terror group that popped up on the 9th of March because somebody went and had a look at who they were on the internet, apparently. And they are called Harakat Asab al-Yamin. What the fuck that means, I just do not know. Probably something along the lines of, we are taking the piss out of you once again. I'm going to get to the gematria on that, because I thought that might actually work quite well. So once again here, you see, once again we've got 9/11 vibes going on, terrorism, Al Qaeda, Iraq, oh, excuse me. So we've got all of this rhetoric bouncing up. Now this is quite an interesting one, isn't it? When we speak about human behavior, okay. Now this apparently is happening in Israel, and it's being reported by Israeli media. So Israeli citizens are shopping, and they're having food, and they're eating in restaurants, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, the air raids, the sirens go off. And these people are fleeing the shops and restaurants without paying. That's quite an interesting one. And what I always say is, once a thief, always a thief. Yeah, very, very interesting. Now, the Iranian war is starting to look more and more like some kind of insider trading going on. Apparently, now, I don't quite really know. Nobody can really find out what's actually happening. Apparently, Trump is talking about peace and talks. Iran is saying that they've had no contact with Donald Trump. The last time they had contact with Donald Trump was through Jared Kushner, and that all went tits up, you know. But there's been some very interesting trading. Now, let's not forget that Donald Trump came into power under the guise of insider trading with many of the politicians in the Democratic Party, but also Republican people as well. So, Iran's saying that they're still in control of the Strait of Hormuz. Trump is saying that they're not. So it's just very, very difficult to really try and find out what's actually going on. There's so much confusion. But there was definitely a trade. A trade was made, and somebody somewhere made a lot of money. And this was a trade that was done 15 minutes before Donald Trump announced the Iranian war. So something's going on. Something's going on. Now, we've also heard as well that Israel apparently now want to buy Greece, or they want to buy part of Greece. And this, of course, is to protect the Jews. Fucking bananas. Absolute fucking bananas, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you, but what is going on? Talk about confusion. Now, of course, a lot of people don't know that the Federal Reserve is being emptied of money. $23 trillion is being moved. $8 trillion in offshore accounts. And this is, of course, all of the dirty money since around about 1971 and probably before. Robert David Steele talks about this, that it's all been tracked and traced. He talks about the corruption, he talks about the corruption through the Federal Reserve, etc., etc. He talks about the corruption through Wall Street and the dirty money through drugs, and all that kind of thing, and that these people are going to come to pass at some stage. And I'll talk about that in a minute in regards to, in regards to Project Looking Glass. Now, so that's kind of what's happening behind the scenes. Where is the money being moved to? Well, it's being moved to we the people. We the people. So it's being moved to all of the people in the world. All of the people in the world. So it's going to... Now, Diego Garcia, apparently now it has been proven that it wasn't Iran that bombed Diego Garcia. It was Israel. Now, you now should understand, okay, you now should have a better insight into why they did 9/11, okay? If you don't understand about 9/11, well, you need to do a bit more reading and a bit more investigation. Okay, so Diego Garcia, okay, which is British and American owned, was bombed by Israel, blamed on Iran. in order that Israel could bring in sympathy, okay, in order that they could bring in America and Britain, okay, the UK, into the war against Iran, okay? So remember, the war against Iran is being waged by Israel. Israel has wanted to bomb Iran for the best part of 50 years that I can remember. And they've always been talking about it. Okay. Now, another guy that's really interesting is a guy called Charles Kushner. Now, Charles Kushner has just got banned out of France, and he's not allowed to speak to any French official, anybody, right? And this is because he's been accused of election interference in France. Okay. Now, Charles Kushner is, of course, connected to Israel and Mossad. He's a Mossad agent. Okay. So I want you to really think about this. Okay. So Charles Kushner has got a son. His son is called Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner just happens to be married to Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka. Okay? Now, the question on everybody's lips, of course, is, does Donald Trump know about the connection with Charles Kushner, also Jared Kushner, and the word on the street is that Jared Kushner was basically groomed in order to marry Ivanka Trump in order to take over Trump's empire. Does that make sense? Now, the big question, like I said, is, does Trump know? Okay. Now, I don't know whether he does know or whether he doesn't know, but that question leads you to many other questions, and we're not going to go into it now because it's a bit of a minefield to get into. Okay. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. Now, don't forget, Jared Kushner has been responsible for all of the very big deals that are taking place around the world. And we're talking about real estate. So we're talking about Palestine. We're talking about Ukraine. We're talking about, lots of other stuff. Iran, for instance. And Jared Kushner is sort of linked in with Stevie Witkoff. Okay, so, yeah, really interesting. Really, really interesting. So, like I say, 40,000 feet. Watch the deal, and we'll see what happens. That's all we can do, to be honest, mate. That's all we can do. Now, VW, of course, is stopping the making of cars and are going to concentrate on producing missiles for Israel. The question then remains is, what do they know that we don't know? And the answer is probably fuck all, because they don't actually know what's actually going on, because they can't see it. Because remember that everything basically is collapsing, and and this is really, really quite interesting. So and then of course Jared Kushner is also doing deals in the Middle East. So this is quite an interesting thing. So we'll wait and see. Donald Trump has a saying a few years ago that he wanted to find out who his friends were. And that's a little interesting one that we can sort of look at. Now, this morning on the BBC, I was very, very surprised to see this. Very, very surprised. Okay, so they had the Epstein victims on the BBC. Okay, the Epstein victims. And they were basically asking the victims, what do you think should happen? And they were talking about King Charles getting involved. And one of the girls was really interesting. She was asked, should the king get involved? Okay. And the girl said, well, at the end of the day, they can all talk hot air, but how about let's see some action? So I thought that was quite an interesting thing that the BBC allowed, because that's not really in the remit sort of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So very, very interesting, very, very interesting to see that. Now, I put a video up on my wall about Project Looking Glass. Okay, now a lot of people want to know about Project Looking Glass. Now, Project Looking Glass was let's just call it a military program that was able to manipulate the future. So I'm just watching my phone because I'm waiting for someone to comment on this. Project Looking Glass was a military project that was able to predict the future. And what Project Looking Glass did, the powers that be basically punched in to the Project Looking Glass, and basically they could predict of what to do. They could predict what to do, what to say, who to put in where and when and how that would work and what the story was, etc., etc. So Project Looking Glass was a look into the future. And what it did, it basically was able to change the timelines. And you're quite correct, Angie. It was a time device. Now, fortunately, okay, for us, okay, what happened was, it after around about, I think it was about 2012, the timeline was completely locked in. Okay, so the outcome of the timeline was completely locked in. So what that meant was it meant that the future couldn't be changed by manipulation. Okay. And this frightened the shit out of them. Okay, they had all kinds of people working on this stuff, and the experts said this is the timeline. What's going to happen is going to happen. It will not change. And this basically was the Project Looking Glass was pointing to what we would say is ascension, awakening, the collective humanity waking up and being snapped out of this spell, and and then a new future coming forward. A golden age, an age of peace and harmony, and nobody's falling out, the wars are over, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so this ascension was locked in after 2012. It could not be changed, and this is what you are experiencing right now. So the powers that be, the bad gang, let's take the bad gang. What did the bad gang, what could they do? Okay, what could they do to try and change the outcome? Okay, so as we well know, they had this Hadron Collider, the CERN. So they tried to manipulate the timelines by using the CERN machine. We all know where that is. I think that was around about 2008. So that's kind of the last-ditch effort. Then the other idea that they had was to escape the timeline. How would you escape the timeline? Well, you could escape the timeline by firing up a lot of rockets to try and escape. You could remember the story of I think it was the 6 people that went and drowned in a submarine. They tried to escape the timeline, but the timeline is coming, and it cannot be changed. There's nothing that they can do. There is nothing that they can do, and as we move forward day by day, you can see this. Time is speeding up. Days and months and years are going quick as anything, and so all of this stuff in regards to the Middle East and all of the endless news cycles that are continuing, it's all coming down to the fact that they're creating chaos, and they are just trying to confuse people as much as they can. The outcome is going to happen. Whatever is, I mean, don't ask me what is going to happen, because I don't know. I mean, I can't fucking remember what I did last week. Never mind what I did 3,000 fucking years ago. So what's going to happen is the ascension is going to happen. Planet Earth will ascend. I don't know whether it's vibrationally, whatever. That's just all down to debate. But if you notice what the and I touched on this morning with the Iranian passport that was found. Now we've got a new Iranian Al Qaeda, so to speak, and so they're just recycling. They're recycling the stories, and once you realise this, you can kind of understand what they're trying to do. But it can't be changed, and so for all those doom and gloomers that they're all talking, you know what they're like? I fucking do my head in. You know, they're talking about the New World Order and all this shite. It's not going to happen. You know. Planet Earth and the people of Planet Earth will ascend. There's no changing that. You can't change that. It's going to happen. Yeah, let's wait and see. Should be a great time to be alive, so to speak. So listen. Yeah, so I'm just looking at the real human beings, the real ones, not the fake ones, the real ones. There's a lot of clones apparently, and blah 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 blah, a lot of reptilians and fucking all that. Anyway, the real human beings, their vibration will vibrate with the Schumann resonance, and you will be feeling all these changes, and I'll tell you, you know, you'll be tired, you'll be wanting a nana nap in the afternoon, even if you're not a nana. You know, you'll be lethargic, you'll have ringing in your ears. There's all kinds of ascension symptoms that are going on, stomachs and diarrhea, and it's endless. But this is what's happening is your body is changing with the frequencies. Okay, so it's nothing to do with 5G and fucking tectonic plates and fucking all that shit. It's none of that. Okay, so don't be pulled into that shite. Okay. Anyway, listen, I'm going to get myself off. And we will. I'll catch up with you a bit later on. I've got one of the worst jobs on the planet today. Well, probably not the worst job, but it's not very nice. We are cutting a hawthorn edge. Now, I don't know whether you probably don't know about hawthorn edges, but a hawthorn edge, it has spikes on it about that long, and I'm not joking. They are like needles. And if you get your hand in the wrong position, okay, if you get your hand in the wrong position, you get absolutely needled to death. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Anyway, I'm going to I'm going to get myself off, and then and we'll take some more. People are talking about the crystalline body, which will absorb more light. I think the other day I was reading somewhere where the new human body will not really will be eating what we're eating now. It's going to be completely different. It's going to be, fruits, and there's going to be like grounding and earthing and all that. I mean, stuff that we should really be doing anyway. Do you know what I mean? But it's very difficult to do it. It's very difficult to do it in this very distracting bloody world. Work, problems, paying bills, fucking hell, it's endless. Yeah, but just be nice, won't it? Not to have. Can you imagine that? Not having any bills. Fucking hell, brilliant. Yeah, excellent. Anyway, listen, I'm off. See you later. Cheers, mate.